Hello. How are we all doing? Uh, wait up. Chicken cam. Not that it matters, because Chicken's not in chicken cam at the moment. She's on my bed at the moment, just, hiding from the cold, I think. Trying to get the coziest, warmest place that she can find. But she might join us later, when she gets annoyed and wants to sit on my lap. Hi, how are we all doing? Hello, Dongshu. Hello, Haljan. Today we are doing more crafty stuff because crafty stuff has become one of the things that I don't know, I just kind of enjoy. It's one of the things that I've been sort of getting into a lot in my time off, which has been really good. Hello Nathan, hello Dongshu. Wait, I've already said hello to Dongshu, but one thing I thought I'd show you is something that I've been working on since I think I got a delivery of some parts of it, and I did a stream about it. And I've been working on this diorama, and so I was going to show you bits of it. It's still like half built, not painted or anything yet, but I was going to show you. So I've got let me just so got my setup. As you may know, I've got my phone hooked up to the stream, so what the phone camera sees appears on stream. So if I switch to this one, it's actually upside down because it's designed for me. You can see, ooh, the stream of the stream visual feedback. This is my desk lamp here, and the bits of blue tack, which means when I attach the phone to the bits of blue tack, it's aiming down at my desk there. So won't get to that just yet. I wanted to show you bits of this diorama. This is like super zoomed in, isn't it? That doesn't zoom out any further. Oh well, that's all good. It'll be good for later. So I've got these bits and pieces. So I think this building is new. I don't think this was here when I showed you this MDS stuff when it first appeared. I had the road base that I was working on. So let me just attach this to its little overhead viewing spot for a moment. I wonder if... Can I... It doesn't really change much. No, I'll just leave it like that. So, I had this road base, and I have since glued this building together and glued it to the road base. So this is a section that I can actually start painting. Not only that, you'll see this little chunk of wood here. And also, I've got this part I can take off the back. And I've got these two chunks of wood there. What those chunks of wood are hiding is inside there, I've actually dremeled into the wood, put some rare earth magnets inside there, and then covered them up with this little bit of MDF so that the magnets can't fall out. When something's attached to the magnets, obviously they're not going to fall out because the magnetism's holding them on. But otherwise, when they're just around and doing things, they need the magnets. So let me show you why that's all there. Just going to get a random miniature. The miniature has one rare earth magnet glued in to the base, and it sticks onto the diorama. So like I'm waving this thing around here at angles where it should be falling off, but it doesn't fall off because I've got this nice setup going where the magnet holds miniatures in place, and there's going to be a whole bunch of them on this diorama. The other nice thing is if I don't put a miniature there, there's no marking on the surface. So I could have put the magnets in the top, like just Dremel in from the top and put the magnets in, but then you'd really see all the spots where the miniatures could be. So now instead I've got this thing where the miniatures magically attach to where they're going to be without without needing to like without there needing to be any clues in the diorama where they are. So I was going to show you where I'm up to with this. I am going to do some plastic model kit building tonight, but I thought I'd show you this because previously it was a big square diorama, and since then I actually cut the front off it because I wanted it to be denser instead. And you can see here a whole bunch of magnets. So I spent a whole bunch of time figuring out exactly where the models should go, and then gluing magnets in, and then gluing these supports on the back of the magnets. You can actually see here on this all of the placeholder magnets that are here. These are actually, because this was glued this afternoon, so the glue's still drying on it. So these magnets are all here, holding the other magnets as far as close into the hole they're drilled in as possible while the glue dries. So let me put this together, and then I will. Oh, actually, it's one of the models that I'm partway through painting here. It's nearly finished. You can kind of see what it's going to look like. Oh, it's not finished on the back there. You can tell, but you can see how I've got the kind of lighting effects going on it. But I'll put this one away for the moment. I was actually just working on it this afternoon. It's not the reason the stream was delayed. The stream was delayed hilariously because I got sorry, I just dropped stuff. Got food delivered. I didn't realize when I ordered it that it was going to take a very, very long time because the weather's horrible, and I can fully understand heaps of people not wanting to ride around and deliver stuff to people on a night like tonight. Okay, so I've got, you can see these, front, that one should say back, I think it's on the other side, front, back, and then the side bits are now shorter because I cut off the front of the diorama. It used to be square. Stage right, outside, stage left, outside. This is like old school stage manager set construction things that I would always be sure that there's a front and back of the stage. That's pretty obvious. But which side is left and which side is right is like, are you from the audience perspective or from the actual stage view perspective? And so that's why I wrote stage right and stage left, because it was like, otherwise, if I did left or right and I'm always looking at it from kind of the audience view perspective, I'm going to forget which way is left and right. It's old way we used to refer to things in theatre. Well, old for me. For some of you, it's probably not that old. For some of you, it's like, yeah, I know that. I hope the reviews are running this year. Wait, has one of them already run? Is there a first term review? Is it mid review? I don't know if any of you are in reviews. I remember Halogen used to be in review, right? But I don't know how much you've done with all of the different reviews. Oh, you're in law review? Oh, wait, law review did run a few weeks ago. Oh, that's cool. All right, so you can see the notches in this bit are going to sit in these here. Actually, I might put the back on first. You weren't in the team, but you went to see it. Ah, cool. Yeah, med reviews term 2. So that would make CSE term 3 then, right? I was talking to Gal about the potential of being in it in some way. I thought it might be funny if I turn up at some point. Maybe the easiest is if I'm in a video or something like that, because I actually don't know what I'll be doing at that end of the year. I might be working somewhere on something, and I feel like my shelf life, my time at UNSW is getting to the point where people aren't going to recognize me anymore anyway, so it's not really worth me doing it. Okay, got this piece, MDF billboard. That's going to go roughly there. I won't glue it on until later because I think it'll be really hard to paint the pavement while this thing's on, and it's a little fragile. Okay, so you get the camera off its mounting. Go back here so you can see. This is roughly what the diorama itself will look like. So I pretty much finished building everything that's going to be there. and I've painted nearly all the models. These magnets, now that they're in, I could probably take these off now. I think a few hours for 2-part epoxy resin should be enough that they won't need that pressure to hold them in place anymore. By going close here, you'll see some of the magnets. There's one there and one there. So there's enough magnets here for the majority of the models that I want to put on this to actually be there. There's just a couple I haven't finished yet. So there's actually magnets back in this area here. I finished them a while ago. These are the ones from this afternoon as the front row. I don't know, maybe I'll get the models out and I'll put them on. Let me just put this back up on its highly professional mounting made entirely of blue tack. And I will stick some models on here and you'll get to see how this kind of layout works. Look at a bunch of these on the other camera here, sitting on a cheap whiteboard. I think I showed you this at some point, right? And now I should be able to just stick these to the points where their magnets want them to be, which is places that I've kind of picked in advance for them. I can't remember where this one is. Where do you stick? Oh, there you go. It's obvious when I find the right spot. It grabs it. But until I find the right spot, it's sort of like they hover around. These two are up on the billboard. You can't quite see that right now, but that's right. I'll show it to you later. One of them's on the footpath. Yep. I love it when they just sort of snap into place. It's two. Yep, there. Where's the other one? I had it here. Yeah, there we go. So now this is populated, and it's getting pretty close to painting time for this. There's 2 more models to go on, which are actually over here right now. So that's that motorbike, and currently it's just blue tacked onto a wooden block so I can hold it to paint it. So it's not ready to have its magnets put in yet. And the other one is not nearly ready. It still needs to be the final bits of assembly. I was just fiddling around with how I was gluing it together and stuff like that, and I need another base for it, which I've ordered but hasn't come in yet. So once I've got those 2, you can kind of see where they're going to go. There's space back here for 2 more of these big base size motorbikes. And then we will have this diorama happily kind of positioned, ready for paint as well, although I can probably start painting some of it already because there's like this back section, how I showed you without the billboard on it, was ready. It was all fully assembled. The road base is probably not ready yet because what I'd want to do is put all the magnets in first, then attach the back, the front and the back and the sides to it so it's all nice and secure, then spray the whole thing and then paint it. I've been really enjoying, I don't know if people noticed that we were talking about it in Discord, that channel Nerdforge. They do some really, really cool crafting, and it's super interesting watching. I watched them do a really full-on multi-layer resin pour 3D solid clear resin sculpture. It was like I think she said it was like 15 kilos of resin total poured in this giant thing with multi-layers painted on the inside and stuff like that. It was like, looked super, super cool. I'll send you a link later. Anyway, I wanted to show you this because this is where my diorama is up to, and I'm pretty happy with it. The deadline is the tournament that I'm going to on the 11th of June, and it's the 11th of May right now, so 1 month out, with like 1.5 models to paint, and the base pretty much like really close to being ready for paint. The only delay at the moment is just delivery one of the bits that I need for it. I think I'm in a good place. I think I'm actually going to comfortably hit the target of having this whole thing ready to show off at the tournament. Um, the last time this tournament ran in 2019, I won the best painted award, which is like voted amongst all the players there. So there's a lot of pressure now to try to win it again. So that's why I'm going all in with this. Also, I just love this kind of crafting. I love having the whole like, I've got all my characters. I love painting characters, and then I go, okay, let's now put them in a scene and have them ready to just kind of look cool and look like they fit the part. Thanks, Donna. I will try to defend the title. However, if I get beaten, that'll also be really cool, because if someone else has put in this much work, enough to beat this diorama, then I really look forward to seeing what they do, because it'll be really cool. And heaps of the people there who I am, air quotes, competing with, they're my friends anyway. So, if I don't win and someone beats me with something really cool, then it's like it's one of my friends winning. So it's sort of like, competition, but very friendly. We're all kind of supportive of each other, and it's going to be like people talking about like the different techniques we use and stuff. And the whole idea of building a base for my miniatures instead of just putting my miniatures out for a painting competition was a friend of mine who was like, dude, build the base. Like, you build a little diorama base for them, it sells the army, it puts them in perspective or anything, and stuff like that. So he said it was like, you should do that if you want to win this kind of thing. I was like, all right, cool. And I did last time with a base, not as big as this. Nicole, do I get anything for winning? I do. The funny thing about this is last time I won this. So it's not all of these, but about 3/4 of these miniatures, I won a box of miniatures. So I'm actually coming back and re-entering the competition with what I won last time in the competition. So the box of minis that I won was probably, I don't know, I think it's valued at maybe 120 bucks or so. I think something like that. So it's not trivial. I mean, it's not like, it's nowhere near, if I was to count the amount of time I've spent on this and pay per hour and stuff, it's nowhere near, it's not a money-making scheme or anything, but we do actually get something from it. Yeah. But I actually really love the idea that 2019 I won these minis. It didn't run, obviously, 2020 or 21. But now the same tournament is back again, and I'm going back in again with the minis I won last time, now completely built up and painted up and put into a diorama to re-enter. So I feel like that's cool. It's like a poetic kind of circle is complete kind of thing. All right, I'm going to put these away, and I'll put the diorama away. Have a look at what we're actually focusing on tonight. I just wanted to show you though, because I'm excited with the progress. A lot of work has gone into it. Like, gluing this fiddly thing together, these ladders on the side, they're just glued on like that. So I really need these to get glued down to the base for them to be secure. So I've already broken one of the ladders once and had to re-glue it. And you can see I put the little magnets in there. Obviously, there's going to be something here as well. I haven't decided exactly what, but I've been investigating the idea of, because this is like a Sin City inspired paint scheme, is just the word Sin in the Sin City font across that billboard in bright red. So then it matches the kind of the most of the diorama base is going to be in black and white. But then that splash of red matches the kind of splash of red that's on the models as well. So that's currently where I'm thinking of going with that billboard. I do also like the fact that like I made this this thing in the back of the building, so if I wanted to, I could put some molded foam or something in here and use this as actual storage for something. So I don't know, storage for dice or something like that, and make this so that, oops, this part on the back, I can leave it so that it can be put on and taken off. I was actually tempted to put some magnets inside here as well, so that way this thing just can stay on via the magnetic force. So this building was actually a square building originally, but like I just cut off the whole back half of the building because I didn't want to take up too much space on the diorama because it's kind of part surface for models, but also part backdrop for it. Okay. All this stuff and put it away. Yeah, it's been a fun project. It'll be fun to see it when it's complete, and also I'm kind of like really glad I'm not like lecturing right now because there's absolutely no way this thing would be getting finished by the deadline if I was like working at lecturer levels. Okay, so should put some of this stuff away. So I've got my workspace here. Cutting mat. It's kind of covered in MDF dust at the moment because I've been today like dremeling out bits of MDF and things, but I think it's okay. Just putting my magnets away. I've got this packet of rare earth magnets. That's what I use for keeping the putting in the models and putting in the diorama base, so it holds everything in place. They're pretty handy. I think I showed you these last time because I was doing the experiments last time to see how I was going to attach things to the diorama, and now that I've got that sorted out, I have very much less magnets than I had last time because I started using them all up, which is good. What do we say? Lecturing is equivalent to 3 full-time jobs. Yeah, it could well be. It was a lot of work. Okay, so I said tonight I was going to do some Gunpla. Let me just switch back to this base camp for a second. I am wearing my Gundam t-shirt. So there's your RX. What is it? RX 78? RX 78-2, I think, is the original Gundam, that's the head of that original Gundam, as opposed to the thumbnail for today, which I made a picture of chicken on the RX 78. So I'm gonna go grab a few things from behind me, and show them, and then we'll see what we want to play around with, because I actually have several model kits sitting around. Some I won't bother with ones that are built. They're all just like sitting around. I could show you one or two, but I'll show you the kits that I have, and I will start building one of them. No promises on whether I can actually finish one tonight. So you've seen behind me a lot because it's in all my lectures and everything. So there's a bunch of things here that are built or unbuilt. Just gonna grab a few of these boxes. Yeah. This is like totally like all Gundam enthusiasts have way too many of these boxes, and no good reason why they've got them all. I'm just using Chicken's tower as storage space. Actually, no, I'm just gonna put these on the floor for the moment. Okay. So here's. Oh, do I even have the box for that one? That's up here. Zaku. This is one of my favorite mecha designs. I think it looks really cool. I forget sometimes how certain things that happened in like the 70s and 80s ended up being so iconic and so continuous in their influence. Halogens can't stay much longer. But you've got a meeting, but you're going to be working on your kit during your meeting. Good luck. Sounds like fun. So this one I've already built, the Zaku here. It was a lot of fun. And I was thinking of, at that point, using this base. So it's like a desert sand base with some clouds and rocks on it and stuff. And so I was thinking of putting this together and putting that model on it and doing some kind of like diorama thing with it. That I don't know when I bought this. This would have been like a year ago or something like that. But this one's on the back burner. I will eventually do something with it, but I just kind of can't be bothered at the moment. I've got my other diorama that I'm working on, and everything else is kind of on hold while I do that. So I've had this focus on that project, and I'm going to get that one done. And I don't know, this project's been sitting around for like a year or so, and I haven't done anything with it. It's like kind of like I built it, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then I just didn't feel like a huge urge. I didn't feel like the absolute need to paint this. But I feel like at some point I really should get one of these model kits and paint it up. Like I've gotten all this experience with painting miniatures, but not that much with painting things on a larger scale. So painting something like this on a larger scale might be really cool. But yeah, it's a fun kit. Okay, so I'll put this one back. Obviously, we're not going to do any building on this one. It's pretty much built. I've got another one that I built a while back, and depending on when you learnt from me, you may or may not have had me using Dragon Ball as as stuff in my lectures, and I understand that like being a fan of Dragon Ball kind of makes you too old to be at university. Because I mean, like again, this is another series like Gundam that started in the 70s or 80s. I don't know when the first Dragon Ball was, but I have a feeling it may have been the 1970s. So again, this kit's already built. So it's fun. It's very posable. If I slot this little building up Kamehameha here, it's like, ah, you know, it's very fun, very silly, very over the top. I also thought that I really should paint this, but a super posable thing like this with open joints and stuff like that doesn't look as cool when it's painted. So the thing was, I kind of wanted to then buy a statue. Oh, actually, this is the one that was. It comes with like power explosion bits, which is like heaps of fun, right? Yeah. So I didn't paint it, but I did think that maybe I should. Or what I will end up doing is buy a statue, so something that's not posable. So it's not model kit posable. It's in one fixed pose, and I think it'll be much cleaner to paint like that. Because this, there would be either I just paint it and leave the joints open, or I would fix the joints in place and like fill them with sculpting putty or something like that. And that's so much extra work for this. Like, look at how big the open joins are there. This is like an action figure. So another project that like I built it and then I put it straight on the back burner and just went, okay, maybe I'll do something with that later. Who knows? So in the moment, this one is just like, it's a sort of a display piece if I had more space to display things. Which I don't, obviously, as you know. We were having a conversation about this on Discord. Me saying that I could do with an extra $1 million so that I could actually buy a house in Sydney that maybe had space for something, like space for a workshop or a studio or something like that, and then I'd actually have space to display things. I do kind of have space to display things, but I also produce a lot of 3-dimensional art, so it's just like my display cabinets are full. I've got one display cabinet that has the display painting miniatures that I've painted, so things that weren't for gaming, weren't where I was just being expedient about it and trying to get my miniatures painted in time to play, but the ones where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to spend a month painting one miniature and having it look as good as I can make it. Nicole, YouTube doesn't want you talking about that. I don't know why it held that back. Maybe it's the emote. Maybe there's something about like suppressing emotes or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I could start looking into getting another house. Not another house. I would have to sell my apartment to get a house, but something with more space because like my partner and I are like we're in our 40s and we're making decent money. Well, she is now. I'm not anymore. But like enough that we could potentially go looking for somewhere, but it's just kind of like when the housing market is as trash as it is, it's sort of like, oh, I'm just going to sit here in my apartment for a while and deal with it later. Yeah. Oh, how was I say the articulation points are some of your favorite bits to put together. Yeah, I love all the joint stuff, and I love all the multi-material molding joint stuff that goes into the Gundams and stuff. Like they build entire kind of mechanical skeleton inside them and things. Um, I've got some other stuff here. So this is like super cute kits called Mechatro Wigo. Um, and here's like it comes in a pair actually. So there's a pair of these cute little. I think these ones are bears, but they're like always this kind of roughly the same robot, and they come in different colors with different. Actually, it's not really a robot because it is piloted. So if I open it up there, yeah, I know that this pops out. I can't remember exactly how. I don't want to just yank on it. All right, I slid it out, and it has a little joystick on it there, a little controls and a little place to stand. But the pivot part in the back there didn't actually come with it, so I don't know if I did that right or not, or that's not actually meant to come out the way that I pulled it out. It's okay though; it should just slide back in. So yes, as Halogen saying, yeah, these are Hasegawa kits. Hasegawa is another company. So Bandai is the company that made the other ones I just showed, and Hasegawa is this one. So I don't know what the difference is hugely between the companies, but I think Hasegawa is more of a fine detail kind of company, whereas Bandai is like mass producing the stuff, which is like the really cool build your own action figures kind of things. But I mean, this one's got heaps of articulation anyway, and it's quite cute as well. Box artist is an artist from Nichijou, if it seems familiar. I don't know what Nichijou is. Is that bad? Is it an anime that I should know or a manga? Let me look it up. Oh, it's a manga. Hang on. Switch screens. It's a little slice of life anime. That is kind of cute. I do love that they have like anime like that. That's just like sort of like what appears to be mundane kind of things, but then like you get into it and it's just really cute. So option one for tonight is the other half of this kit. So I built the grey one, and there's a brown one there. Then I have. This was quite random because I don't know. I don't know which series this is from or exactly what it is, but I was given this. Hang on a second. Just gonna tone down the brightness of my monitor there. Yeah, and it's a random Gundam. Luna Gazer Gundam, Lady Kawaguchi's mobile suit. So I'm not sure. All right, see you, Halogen. Yeah, so I could build this, or at least get started on this. Actually, there's one more that I forgot to do. Can you see what I'm doing? You can. So there is a possibility that a bunch of stuff comes crashing down on me when I try to get this kid out. Gently. All right, we're good. We're good. Oh my god, there's a lot of dust on this one. This is a huge kit. which is so covered in dust you can hardly see it. It's called Red Horn. It is a kind of reissue on Zoids. So I don't know if anyone knows Zoids. Again, 70s, 80s kind of stuff. It's all about me reliving bits of my childhood with a lot of these model kits and things. And so people started doing these things called high-end master model versions of Zoids. Zoids used to be tiny little things, you know, like they were the size of this little kit. Well, not that quite that small, but reasonably small, like that. But this is not going to be that big. As you can see, the box is gigantic compared to the other ones. I started building this, I want to say, sometime around 2010, 2011. I don't know. You know, I wasn't there. It was somewhere in the middle, maybe 2015 or something. It was a long, long time ago. So I know that in this box, some of it is built. Let me flip it open and see. Oh my god, look at this. Spurs. Whoop. Oh. Nearly showed you too much. Okay. So there is a little bit that's built. There is a head of this. I don't want to call it a triceratops because it's only got one horn, but it is some kind of dinosaur. Robotic dinosaur creature thing. Hey Zero, how's it going? Haha, Nicole, you noticed the hoodie. So much of my stuff that I have. Oh wow, a Gundam Marker. I wonder if this still works. It does, still works. So people use these markers to draw in the panel lines. And looking at it, yes, I was doing that on this kit. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. No, probably not. It's also a dark colored kit. So this is from the era before I painted anything, where what I would do is I'd leave it bare plastic and just draw in the panel lines to give it some more extra definition. The amount of effort of drawing panel lines in this kit appears to have cost me the kit entirely. So I just didn't finish it because there was too much effort going into this. So there's that. I mean, one day I'll come back and rebuild this. I was about to say, but this is not that day. But that's option number 3. Okay, so we have the Mechatro Wego. This one. Or we have this Gundam, which is like just... I didn't even buy this. This is random. So, like, it could be interesting. I don't know. I don't even know what era this is from because it's like HG Build Fighters. And I don't know what era that is. Because, like, the Zaku that I have is the present day kits where one of the grades that Bandai has is this real grade kit where it's a small size kit but it has a lot of detail. This HG, I think, is the high grade, which is ironically like one of the lowest grades they've got, like one of the kind of simple build kits. Or we could delve into the monstrosity and try to continue building this Red Horn and see how we go. I don't know if I would actually continue doing all the panel lines and stuff on that. Not that I mean, like, in the overall scheme of things, it's not super hard now that I've painted a lot of stuff and I know how to paint and stuff, but I'm totally saving this marker now. It's going to go with my collection. So I've got this collection of marker pens for similar purposes to that. So I've got a whole bunch of experiments that I did here in black marker pens. So these were all for drawing on miniatures in different ways to get an artistic sort of comic look to them. Actually, not the blue one, but the black ones, and even a Posca as well, like a thin Posca. Donna asks which one would be more fun for me. That's a good question, and I don't know. I actually just kind of enjoy the building no matter what. But the thing that's tempted me the most is the Mechatro Wego, because it'll be reasonably quick. We can get it done tonight, and it's something that like there's much higher possibility that I'm actually gonna get around to painting one of those because it's in the scale of like a couple of days rather than that giant red horn massive robo dinosaur kit. Just gonna move it up here. Giant dinosaur kit, which is gonna be like we'll do like one leg tonight or something, and that's it. So I think maybe I'll go for the Hasegawa kit. Hasegawa's the company, the Mechatro Wigo kit, because I think that'll be cool. And then there's a decent likelihood that I will actually finish the kit tonight, as opposed to the other kits, which will just be some kind of part of kit, and you won't get to see the finish. So it's probably better for stream, and also more likely for me to actually do something with it, as opposed to the other kits, which are just sort of like the Gundam is a weird kit because I don't know the story behind it. I don't know which anime it's from, because there are a lot of Gundams, and so I don't have any commitment to that kit at all. So okay. I reckon that's just made the decision. I'm gonna build this one, the other half of this Mechatro Wigo, so this brown one here. And then what we might do next week is I might paint it. We'll see how we're going. So, I mean, either I'll paint that or I'll be painting my diorama next week or something like that. But I think build one week, paint the next would be kind of cool. So let me swap over here. Oh, that's my pens. So I've got a bunch of different things. This one's really interesting. Molotov liquid chrome. You can actually draw on things with this, and they end up getting like a chrome finish. It's super interesting. I've used it on some miniatures, and it was surprisingly good. I've got a couple of lots of different marker pens. It's like different attempts at getting a really thin line marker pen, and also when I'm doing it with miniatures, I want a matte finish. I can live with a shiny finish, but I'll usually have to do something like a matte varnish afterwards to matte it back down. Oh, Nicole, you've heard people rave about Copic markers. Copic markers are pretty cool. So, I mean, I'm a bad person to ask about this because what I do with Copic markers can't possibly be what people do with them, right? Because I think people use these for writing comics and inking comics and stuff, or just like doing art and things, and people love them. Whereas I'm using them for like drawing on sculptures is what I do with them. So it's a slightly different use case, I guess. But yeah, I used them for a couple of pieces and I quite enjoyed it. So they're pretty good. There's so much dust everywhere right now. Then again, there's just always dust at my place because I have chicken and chicken just creates dust. Did people see, like, I was talking to people on the Discord last night? It was last night or the night before, about my keyboard. I showed a photo of my keyboard that just has embedded dust under the keys. We're talking about people who get into hobbyist keyboarding, and I thought it was quite interesting. I thought it was quite funny because anytime you get really deep into a hobby of any kind, you always end up with the idea that, like, you've got to do things with this like really deep level of commitment, and certain bits about, like, okay, you want to do it this way, or you want to personalize things, and it's kind of like this massive jump from just say owning a keyboard or even owning an expensive, good mechanical switch keyboard, but then getting into custom keyboards. It's a completely different world, and people get really sucked into that kind of thing, which is kind of fun. And I would never think to make fun of something like that. Unless, of course, I'm making fun of, say, people collecting Warhammer. I can do that because it's me. I'm just making fun of myself. Or board games or computer games or all that kind of stuff, right? So, like, I could make fun of that. And don't want to make fun of people who are spending $10,000 on keyboards, but, like, I kind of have to. So it's too much money. You spend too much money on your keyboard. But also, I know that I am only one step away from being that person just going, oh, I could put $500 into a really custom special keyboard and design exactly the colors I want to use for it. Hello, Epic389. How's it going? So, here's the kit that we're building. Here are the instructions. That is actually super cute, that picture. Like, she's like, it's here. You gotta build it. I think he's got the instructions. Keyboard build stream. Okay, so the way that we think about this is this build stream cost me half of $47. The keyboard build stream would cost me significantly more. But I just don't think that I don't think that I should necessarily get into that. It's just such a bad idea. Look, if I start working again and start making a whole bunch of money, then I will think about stuff like that. But I think that you can get a lot of nice hobbies that don't just burn your wallet immediately on doing it. And like my hobby in like miniature painting and stuff like that, it's not that cheap either. Like I was talking to a friend and it was like, like a tournament-sized Warhammer army these days is probably costing you around $1,000. So if you want to play in tournaments, you want to go to these regular monthly events, that kind of thing, you got $1,000 outlay just to begin with. So it's pretty full on. Oh, Epic saying, yes, you do enjoy the quality of the Copic markers, but they are also hellishly expensive. $5-10 a marker. Yeah. So I think for cheaper markers, you get a whole set. Like for $5-10, you could get a set of like 6 or something like that. Nicole, I'll start a Patreon. You can fund me, and then I'll start building keyboards. Keyboards an investment, says Donna. Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Let me just detach my camera here and go. All right, the keyboard is an investment. Here's my keyboard. It's a reasonably expensive keyboard with RGB lighting and stuff, mechanical switches and everything. Yes, this is an investment because this cost me. Hang on, just get the charging cable out of the way there. This cost me. Now I'm just holding the charging cable in front of the other camera. 1 second. Yeah. So this thing was. I can't remember how much. Was it $200 or was it less than $200 when I got it? I think it maybe $150 to $200. Like not super expensive, but I bought this nearly. Part of me wants to say like a decade ago, but it couldn't have been that long. It was like 6 or 7 years ago, right? But this thing is like indestructible. It's lasted me that long through a whole bunch of games, whole bunch of like. I think this keyboard's on its 3rd computer now, and it's got no signs of having any problems or anything like that. I feel like this is an investment, whereas hobbyist keyboards, where you spend a whole bunch of money for custom stuff, is not necessarily an investment because it won't really pay off. Like this keyboard here has already paid off in terms of like the number of cheaper keyboards I would have had to have bought, and I would have had a worse experience over a longer time with them. This keyboard's definitely done me well like that. Epic saying that when we're talking about marker pens, that the you can often get cheaper ones that aren't quite as good, and they'll still be great without spending too much. I understand that. March your digital stream when? Digital art stream. Well, I'm really not a digital artist, so I think there could be a problem there. It's kind of funny that, like, you know, I've spent so much of my life uh, doing computing stuff, and I spent so much of my life doing a lot of art stuff that I haven't actually combined them together. Like, I think you've seen the level of art that that I do with my amazing Photoshop thumbnails, where I just have this one picture of chicken that I have chopped the head out many different times from that picture, and not even Photoshop, just MS Paint copy and pasted onto pictures of other things. So I think my digital art is much more comedic than it is actually worth watching. But we'll see. Dongju's asking what switches that I've got. I've got I can't remember. I think it's the Cherry MX Red. I know it's the linear ones. No sound, no feedback, just a straight up and down, which I kind of like. I was unsure about it at first, but after I used them for a bit, I got really used to it, and I was like, I like this is a flow. It just kind of like, it just kind of bounces. You know, it doesn't catch at any point in its movement, so it's just got this nice kind of smooth kind of feel to it. But it was a weird feeling when I first started using them, and now I don't think I could use, what do they call it? The other option is tactile. I don't think I could use that now, because I'm so used to my keys just kind of being this kind of soft cushion for my fingers rather than like a click or anything like that. Like I'd never go to the clicky ones, like the blue switches that have that actual plasticky clicky sound. I'm like, no, go away. I can't have you making that much noise. Yeah. Nicole's like, Mark got into Mac keyboards before they got big. Yeah, like before any custom keyboards, I think that people were making. But I wasn't super early. Like it's got RGB lights all over it. It already got to the point. This is Corsair as well, right? So it's not that early. This is a big hardware company making keyboards. So like I'm what do you call it? I'm like post Razer. So once Razer's making something, then you know it's big. Everyone's already doing it by then. Clicky is the only way. You like the clicky? Nicole's got the kind of most what I would call the human compromise in the middle, which is the brown switches. Because they have the feel where you can really definitely feel when they're either up or down. But they're reasonably quiet, unlike the blue ones, which you say you are tempted to get the blue ones to create chaos in your household. That's pretty funny. Okay, so back to this. We were talking about hobbies and stuff like that. But here are my instructions. There's something so satisfying about these instructions. Like, well, we're going to do this and this. We're going to build this. Oh, that's the bit that I pulled out. And you can actually put a person in it. So I think that there is somewhere in here. Yep. I see here a human body and a human head there. So you can actually build that and then put them into the cockpit of the little robot. And so I think that the setup that I had in there, it wasn't actually made to come out, and I just yanked it out because I hadn't glued this model together. It fits together quite nicely without glue. Like even to the point where some of these pieces probably don't want to come out anymore. Like if I tried to pull some of these pieces out now, they may snap before coming out. So it's a pretty snug fit even without glue. As opposed to these metal miniatures there, which are nowhere near as much fun. It's not like they're made to just be like, sculpted nicely, cast well, really, really annoying to build. I have to do things with like this pin vise, which is basically a hand drill. So I drill into multiple components. and I put a rod of metal in between them to hold them together. Yeah. As long as you're saying to make chaos, you get box whites or box jades. I do not know box key switches, but I'm going to assume that they're incredibly loud. Because that's why you'd be saying that. Alright. Sprues. Okay. So, looking at the instructions. Okay, there are assembly instructions for the little people. But I'm not going to bother with them right now. Here's one of them. I think this is the little girl from the cover. It's interesting that they always have little figurines of the people, but that's not really what I'm there for. When I'm building a model kit, I want all these bits and pieces. I've got enough. I've painted enough little people as it is in the whole wargaming hobby, so I don't really need more of it here. But let's build a robot. Okay, so first section here is that looks to me like either a hip joint or a shoulder joint or something. It's both. It's actually two of these are the legs, and oh wait, I'm pointing at something that you can't see. Here. So this is the frame, and it's like it's lying down and it's facing upwards. So this will be the two shoulders, and this will be the two legs, or vice versa. I can't tell yet which way this goes. Okay, so let's look for the pieces there. A9. So I've got the letters there. You can see on the sprue. So there's an S and a Q and a C and an R. It's quite funny the letterings. It's not like A, B, C, D or anything. Okay, I've got a B here, but I don't think there's B in that. And a T. And this must be the A, because it's the last one left. Okay, this sprue's the A. Oh, this one's PC, as in, I think it's polyester, this one. So the C's... Did I actually have a C? Oh, I have a C. Okay, A and a C. Alright, I'm going to put the others off to the side for the moment while I start working on this. Okay, so just grabbing some clippers. These are actually my Citadel is the brand of Warhammer tools and paints and things. So I'm using a Warhammer thing, but, you know, it's the same kind of... Oh, there's a little chip in there. Sorry, I should do that on camera. I just noticed a little chip in my clippers. I mean, I've been using them on a whole bunch of stuff for several years, but usually only plastic, so it's a bit sad that there's a chip forming. But that's okay, that allows me to go buy a really nice new pair of clippers at some point. Everything you break in your hobby is just exciting because you get to buy new toys. It's very silly. Okay, so we're looking for A9, which is here, and that is the kind of what's looking like it's going to be the main framework holding all the joints of the body together. Gonna do this on camera. Clip all these out. I don't even, by the looks of it, need to be too neat with clipping these out because these all look like internal parts that are going to get covered up by something else. I mean, it also depends on how finicky I want to be with this. If I'm definitely talking about building this for painting, then I probably want to go around and clean all the mold lines off it as well, because there's nothing like paint to show you where all the mold lines are in a model and really kind of like... I find once you see mold lines on something that you've painted, it breaks the immersion of the object immediately, because everything that we're doing in this kind of context is a scale model. So once you scale something down, if it looks like it's been injection molded in plastic, it really breaks the immersion, whereas this thing is meant to look like it's made out of metal or something like that, which means it wouldn't have mold lines. Well, not the same kind. Okay, what is it? It's 9:30, and I have one piece. Okay, so we have this thing, and then we're putting C5 and C6 in these bits on either side here. So C5's going here. It's got a nice set of pins, or just pushes into place. This is something that I've noticed from all the stuff that I've done with miniatures for games versus model kits, is that you don't even remotely think that you can compete with the engineering standards of the Japanese model kit industry. The stuff just works better. It's molded cleaner, works better, glues together better, or doesn't need glue and holds together fine, has better articulation, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of amazing how good Japanese model kits are. Okay, A11 and 12 are attaching to that. So that's going on there. And just squish that together, and it sits fine. This way. Yep. All right. I think that's everything for that particular part. And then we're looking for S, R, and U. So not the A and C that I have here. I don't know if you can hear that, but I assume that you can hear that. There's an ambulance going past. Hope everyone's going to be okay. S, R, B, Q, and a T. So U must be one of the sprues in the box. So I left a bunch of sprues in the box because I thought they were from the other half of the kit, but it looks like they're not exactly the other half of the kit. There's some mixing and matching happening. Ooh! U is clear bits. It's cool. Okay, where were we? Here. S4 is attaching to that. So there's S4. Is that going here? Wait. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. I put it in upside down. I looked at the diagram, and it's like the bits with the kind of slightly wheel-looking parts, so not this side, but that side, are sticking out the top. So it's like this. Like, I didn't get that pushed too much further on, because that would have, this is actually a pretty strong friction bond here. Once that's on, it wasn't going to be coming off. Okay, so that piece is on there. I think this is a robot bear butt right here. And then R4, pretty obvious, this big white bit. Sliding on there like that. Yeah. I've kicked up a lot of dust this evening by pulling out boxes that I haven't looked at in a long time. Okay. That piece in U3, which is one of these. Oh. That piece fell off. Me talking about how well they stick together. It's weird. I think like it's back in, but it doesn't feel super secure in there. Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna stick it on. And hopefully it won't fall off again. And we'll see if something else goes on that holds that in place. Okay, U3, we've got 2 copies of U3 there. Vacuuming with a Dyson is so satisfying because it shows you the breakdown of what kind of dust and crumbs you vacuumed up. It's so funny having the transparent view of all the stuff that you have. I was actually trying to vacuum up my desk, my crafting space, the other day, but the Dyson kept running out of, like, because we've got a cordless one, it kept running out of batteries like every 5 seconds, and I was like, oh, not sure what's happening. I haven't actually gone back and checked that to see whether it was just me not charging it properly or there's something wrong with it. Oh no, that piece fell off again. I may have to go find some glue. This piece also is not fitting in. Oh wait, there it is. Just had to find the right way. Hi Olivia, how's it going? We are building a Mechatro Wigo, which is a plastic model kit from a company called Hasegawa. And it's these adorable little bear robot things that these cute people ride around in. I think she's like, fix it, make it better. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So that's what we're building. And I'm like sneezing every time I touch that box because I bought it years ago and it's just picked up so much dust. Okay, so this one piece isn't sticking, so I'm going to glue it in. Got my plastic glue here. I was like, find some glue. It's like, sitting at my crafting desk, of course there's going to be glue. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that out. Stick it on the bits there. Alright. So it's not yeah, shouldn't be too much of a problem. The other thing that I do with this metal tube is you don't want the glue drying in the tube. So what you do is you face it upwards, so the camera's above it now. And I put a bit of tissue paper so I don't spray myself with it. And then squeeze it. So what I'm doing is like squeezing air through the metal tube and then wiping off whatever glue pops out the top. And then that makes it so that when I put it away, it doesn't end up with dried glue inside the little metal pipe, which is like the metal pipe's pretty handy because it gives you like this really fine point for putting the glue exactly where you want it, but it also has that risk of having stuff dry in the tube and then you not being able to get any glue out. Okay, so we've done that section there. Put our little what appear to be brake lights on the back of it. And put that aside for the moment because we are starting. I'll move this up here so you can see it. To assemble parts of the head. So mostly S at the moment. This is S as well as U, which is this. Okay, S6 appears to be the main piece. Which will be the dome of the head. I just clean this up. As you can see, there's a little chunk there because of the angle that I clip it at. Okay, so S6, like so, and S2 and 3 stick in the top. Those are those adorable little ears that are going to go on the top of it. Let's make sure this is aiming the right direction at the moment. Yeah, it is. Just need to squish that in a little further. Don't know how far in that's supposed to go. Don't want to force it and break it. I think that looks okay though. Got this warning, even in English, please be aware of the direction. Oh no, that's not for the ears. That's for the eyes. So I think they're very small pieces, but they do have a subtle shape. This other ear. Okay. That's pretty cute. Little head with ears. S1 is the back of the eyes, I guess you'd call it. I guess another thing I'd have to think about is if I wanted to paint this, would I install all of the transparent bits or not? You know, because what I might want to do is paint everything and then attach the transparent bits to the kit afterwards. Because that way I could get the transparent bits obviously to stay transparent instead of me painting them by accident. But we'd have to, I don't know. Maybe I can just build it and then pull those bits out later if I want to. Oops, sorry, that was off camera. So I'll just put that part in there, and U2, not the band, sprue, are these little plastic rounded bits. Oh, so that's what they're saying is the rounded bit faces outwards. So just to be careful of that. I can also see why they've included 6 of these in a kit that only requires 4 of them, because they're very small, and I can definitely see how you'd lose them. Right, so I put one in there. One on the other side. I mean, the fact that they're just kind of pushing in. I mean, you can see that like kind of reflecting. That's cool. Yeah, the fact that they're just pushing in means it might not be too hard to get them out again if I wanted to get them out to paint. All right, so that's everything there. I think we've got ears, we've got eyes. Now we're doing top of the head, which is C and B. So none of these. Just going through the sprues over here. Okay, this is B. What's this one? And this one is C. C4. Alright. C4 attaches to B18. 11, 10, 12, 17. Where's 18? Up there. Satisfying little click into place that only happened on one side, still waiting for it on the other. Come on. Yeah, there we go. There's the click. I don't know if you heard it. And it goes up there. So the top hatch is open. That's really cute. I guess the other option was instead of having the hatch open, you could actually just put it in place. Like this one has its hatch closed. This one has its hatch open. Yeah, so there's the option there of just sticking it in or having it open. That's cool. So they're slightly different, the two of them. I guess you could build either one either way, but it's nice that I've got this one looking a little different from the blue one. Okay, so that's most of the head, and then we're going to attach the head to, where did I put the body? It's here somewhere. I love how you can kind of see it, the little bear has the idea that it's wearing a hoodie. So this is going to go on roughly here. The PC sprue, which is this. PC1 and PC2. So these are the really soft pieces to go inside the joins to give them friction. So PC1 goes on this inside bit here. PC2 goes on the other side. Just making sure I've got these the right way, but looks like I do. Yeah. Alright, they're going to slide into those notches. There we go. So now we have the head that can rotate forwards and backwards like that. So it's kind of like a top hatch, the head. Next bit, just going to fold this around. Exterior assembly. So we're going to go, this is going to be the front half by the looks of it. So sprues B and Q. I've got B here. Don't think I've got Q here. Let's use this one. B and Q are the same color? Yeah, same color. So Q7, this bit. Leave this where you can see it. Oh, that's Q2 is going on the front of that. So I assume it goes this way. Yep, that's fitting in nicely. B7 and B8. So B7 is the left arm. B8 is the right arm. Actually, not sure if that's arm. I guess it is. It's going to be side there, I think. Side there. Okay. Oh, you can put the little person inside it. I'm not sure I will. I'll leave the little people out of it for the moment. But 8. Just gonna make some space for myself here. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. 8 is like this, and then 9 is assembling this stuff in a particular order. So I guess it's like, yeah, this is what I had with the other one, where it was like the bottom of the belly is actually where the person stands, and it can go on a hinge or not. Just give me a second. I just gotta blow my nose. It's very dusty. Picked up too much dust getting all these model kits out. It got all snipply. Okay, where were we? Okay, I've got this piece. We are doing the little platform for someone to stand on. So it's S, C, and B. So here's B. It's going to be the little joystick controls. Time to mask up. That'd be funny, you know. Like, we forget that we used masks for all kinds of interesting things before COVID. I mean, I still have masks on this desk for when I'm doing spray painting, and I don't do it indoors, obviously. Like, go outside and spray paint, but even then, I don't want to breathe in the fumes from that stuff. And also, if I'm working, like I've been working with MDF a lot, I'll often, depending on how much sanding I'm doing with it, I will often wear a mask for that as well. Okay, C3 and S5. C. S, I can't remember which one's S. S? No. This one is S. What did I say? C3. S5 is here. I don't know how much work I was just doing when no one could see it. I just forget that the camera view is actually quite limited. It's like just a really specific spot right in front. Like if you look at it, like when I'm doing detail stuff like this, my hand is bigger than the entire camera view. But I think if it was more zoomed out, you wouldn't even be able to see all these little pieces that I'm working on. So it kind of works. Okay, so this goes in here. And the control stick. Feel like in hindsight I should have put this in first, because it's taking a bit of pressure to put in, and I can't really reach in there at the moment to put the right amount of pressure. Let's go for some pliers, but completely flat pliers so they don't damage the surface. Well, I mean, they still could, but I should be able to get enough pressure in with these just to get this thing to stick into place. Yeah, there we go. Didn't need much. Okay, so little joysticks there. And then I have the... Carefully do this in the right order, they say. So first thing you do, tilt the head back. Then this piece here, pressing lightly from left and right. So I'm squishing it together, then feeding it in, and then it grabs those polyester caps that I've already, polyester kind of circular bits that I've already put in there. All right, so there's the belly. And then the cockpit goes in there. Maybe I should flip this up while I'm doing that. But I also have that piece in there. Oh, so it depends on how I want to do this, because I can do it with it inside, and it will end up looking like this one. Or I can do it like it's loading someone in and add this piece here. So I might do that just so they look different. C7. So one of them is like, you know, the robot's all sealed up, ready to go. And the other one's like open. Oops. Like it's getting ready for someone to get in or out of it. Okay, so this attaches to here. This goes in that slot at the bottom there. Okay. So it's actually quite funny how open this is right now. Alright, and you can change that part if you want. Alright. I'm going to leave that open. Now we've got some shoulders here. Q6 is the right hand side. Just got to find the right angle that I want to cut that so that it's nice and flush afterwards. As you can see, I didn't cut that on the right angle, so come in and clean it up. So you was the clear bits. Yes. So you won. Goes inside the back of this. I think these are headlights. Should be a notch inside. Yes, there is. Okay, so that notch lines up with this notch here. Bit too small to handle. Going for the tweezers. I remember we were having a conversation about the tweezers. It might have been with Halogen, who has already gone. And I was talking about the tweezers that hold themselves in place when you're not putting pressure on them, like the inverted tweezers. But I went to Hobbyco and asked about them. They didn't have any, unfortunately. Okay. This kit does have some very tiny parts. Alright, there's that bit, and it's connecting on this side. What is it attaching to? Alright, it's attaching to this part. So the shoulders are attached to the torso, I guess. And the belly is attached to the controls. Same thing on the other side. Just have to cut it from this angle first. And then cut the excess off. Another headlight. The other option is if I do want to paint this after it's built, because I know that a lot of people will actually paint it while in like pre-built state, so they will paint each part separately, then construct it all. A lot of time when I'm painting, though, I do want to see how the pieces fit together. So I kind of prefer to have something built. But the option with these clear pieces that I don't want paint getting on them is before I like start spray painting this with primer or something like that, to get it started, I can put blue tack over all of the clear bits, and then I will be able to paint without worrying about painting on the clear bits, and then remove the blue tack later, and then the clear bits will still be safely unpainted. Okay, so we've got shoulders with headlights. And then looks like we're building hands. R3T3. Okay. Got a C and an S and a B. Alright, found a T. It's an A. So R must be this other one. Yes. Okay. T3. Figure out how these go together. Right. Hang on. Move my instructions so that you can see them. So we're feeding one piece through the hole in the other, and then rotating it, and that holds it in place. So this piece goes in here, and then I rotate it. And yes, indeed, that does hold it in place. T2 is this one. his little paws. Slot in here. Not sure exactly where they slot in. All right, it's not actually that tight a fit. Something else is going to come and hold this in place, I think. But pretty sure this little piece here is actually the thumb. So there's a thumb on one side and 3 fingers on the other. Okay, Q3 and R2. Okay, we've got R there. We just need to go back to Q. Which one it was, which I can't. So what do we got? We got T, S, C, B. It's PC, so that's not. Is this Q? No, this is A. Oh, maybe it's over here. Yes, this is Q. So Q3. Yeah, so Q3 looks like it's sliding on over the top of the hand. And then we've got the little thumb is still able to open and close a bit like that, which is nice. And R2 is a cap over that. There we go. Very, very cute little robot hand. And we do that twice for both hands. That makes sense. They appear to have made the hands symmetrical. Which makes sense. They'll work fine like that. Trying to find the actual spot to work in so that it's on camera and you can see it. Also gotta stretch a little bit. I just get really focused when I'm working on stuff like this, and then my back just kind of seizes up after a little while. I think that's the other funny thing about doing craft on stream is that you especially when I'm working with tiny things like this, you end up I end up really focused in on one little space, and I find that my muscles, like my shoulder and back muscles, just kind of lock into that position. Doesn't help that I was painting all afternoon as well, so I was here in this position painting like that as well. Probably should have done different things rather than all of the same hobby. Not that I do much else other than playing computer games. Oh, actually, depends which game. I've been playing Warhammer. What's it called? It's like a huge name. Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, which is a spiritual successor to a really old game called Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate that I played when I was a kid. So I was quite excited for this one to come out. It's got a very XCOM tactical kind of feel to it as a game. It works quite well. I'm quite enjoying it so far. Okay, so we've got our two hands, and we finished this step. Get some of these sprues and pieces out of the way so I can move on to the next step. You can see it. Okay, we are adding arms. Oops, just disassembled a piece of it. Okay, T1, A2. So, where's my T? Here's one of the big ones. Here. T1, please do not cut. I gotta be careful. Wait, this is A1. That's not what I'm looking for. A2. So A2's there. T1. There's a little notch there that I'm not supposed to cut. So T1 attaches there. PC4. It's interesting that we're building up the joint in here. I think that the more modern Gundam kits will do funny things where the whole joint is actually just molded in, and then you cut or break a bit of it, and then the whole thing can bend. But this one has us building the joint ourselves, which is fine. We can do that. Okay, so we've got this piece here, which is there, and then A4 seals that up. Hello, Tawaka, and hello, Haladin. The build's going pretty well, so this is the body so far. So I'm doing this one in the layout of, as opposed to this one where the belly, where the belly is in the robot. I'm making it so that it's open, and it's extended the cockpit section there where someone could climb into it. I can always make it back into this build if I want to. Ah, you made a crotch and two arms while you were gone. This is the Gundam that you're building at the moment. Was it a it was a super deformed Gundam? It looked like one of the SD kits. A4 goes on there. Yeah, SD. Cool. They're really funny. They're super cute. This attaches here. Although I need this part to go on properly first. Do that. It's a Zaku 2. Ah! So wait, Zaku 2 is that it's the red version of the Zaku that I'd built earlier, which is the green one, right? Just squishing this piece together. Very, very solid friction fit there. Oh, you actually wanted the green one more, but it was sold out. Oh. I think the red one's a character, yeah. And the green one is the, I don't know what you'd call it, production model, the one that there's lots of, that the Gundam just like kills like lots of all the time. Okay, so we've got this piece, and I was just playing around with like being able to rotate this joint. And we're going to attach some pieces to it. So B6 and Q1. I've got Q over here. So let's grab Q1. Q1 goes on the back of the elbow. Like so. B, which one's B? R? see. I have some kits. As I'm building them, I will start to memorize which letter's which. This is not one of those kits. B6. And one of the hands. It's on here. All right. So we have a cute little arm there with a very cute, sort of oversized paw hand on it. That's cool. Now we're going the other side, the other arm. Which starts with A1, which is the one that I was accidentally starting to cut out a second ago. Just going to put that here in the same angle that it is in the instructions, makes it easier for you to remember what I'm doing. T1 attaches. The notch facing that side. Yep. Okay. PC4. Looks like sprue T is finished, so I can put that on the floor over there now so it doesn't confuse me. Nabino says... Oh wait, let's go in order. Memories of the What is B video. What is the What is B video? Mark, which one's B? Oh, right. Dodo, how far am I into it? I'm reasonably far, actually. So we've got this torso, and I've done it so that the little cockpit piece is extending itself out towards the ground, and this is open, but I mean, we can shut it as well. So as opposed to this one, which is like in full bear mode, this one is in I am a robot and I'm waiting for my human mode. Nabin Osaka says, "Hi Mark, are there any courses in comp sci that touches on stuff like solidity?" I don't know. It depends what you mean by solidity. If that is a comp sci keyword of some kind, I don't actually know it. So, I'm not sure. Maybe if you can explain the concept, or if solidity is like a brand name for some kind of concept, then I may be able to know what it is. Or you have found something that I have absolutely no idea about. In which case, I may be the wrong person to ask about the whether there's courses in it, because I probably need to do those courses in that case. Alright, squishing this arm together, checking the elbows rotate. B. Did I have a B? It's over here, wasn't it? Language to build apps on Ethereum. Ethereum? No. Are you talking about the Ethereum, like the Bitcoin Ethereum, or something else? Either way, you've definitely hit on something that I have zero experience in. So the chances of me being able to help you with it are pretty low. Okay. Put this little hand in. And now we have two arms. Yeah, unfortunately, I have done like no work in blockchain stuff, nor have I studied it in any way. So I don't know, but I know there's definitely stuff um, in terms of like learning about blockchain and stuff like that in CSE. But I don't know if there's anything on really specific languages. It's much more likely to be something more open than that. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know which lecturers work on that. Okay, so we've got our arms, and I was all fired up to stick the arms to the model, but that doesn't appear to be the next step. So I think we're building the legs first. So I'll move them out of the way. We're looking for sprue R. B. This is R here. That's awkward. Oh no, that's not R. That's right. It's actually sprue A. It's this sprue. Do I reckon in the coming year or two we will get more blockchain specific courses? I do not know. Um, I wouldn't specifically think so. I can't remember, like, because I left, was it 6 months ago? No, I left like 4 months ago. And I know that we were hiring new people, so I don't know if we were hiring anyone who was blockchain specific. Especially because like we may be hiring for certain people, and then we may get different people turning up who are worth hiring who do know about that stuff. But I don't remember hearing about anyone super blockchainy specific being hired at that point in time. So I can't necessarily say that anything like that is on the cards. Okay, so this is A23. Having said that, I can't say no because I know that there are people who are in the school already who do blockchain stuff. So um, they might be doing things, and I just don't know anything about it. Okay, A21 combined with B14. So B14 with its little ball joint thing there connects into A21. Gets sealed in by A23. Alright, okay. This is A15. Okay, so A15 on the top, A13 on the bottom. And a PC4. That's there. It goes into the previous piece. It all gets held together. Alright. Is that a... I'm not sure if that joint's meant to flex or not. Let's not for now. Just in case it's not supposed to. I'm not sure. Wait, were those pieces flexible? No, they totally weren't. Oh wait, let's check on this one. Don't feel like it. Nope, nope. Is this flexible? Snap! Oh no. Okay. So where was I up to? It's here, there. And then the leg is R1, which is this cute top of shoe piece here. I like how it's a robot, but then they've made it look like it's got a hoodie and shoe and sneakers on. Okay, PC3 goes inside that. S7. Even the sole of the sneaker has 3 little pads on it, like its little cute little paw. So this is going in here. Yeah. No, it looks like it's inside. Going for the tweezers now. Or I'll just use the tweezers to launch the piece at my desk. That's the thing with tweezers, like you can see what you're doing with them, but you don't have the kind of control that you have with your fingers. So, okay. How far does this bend backwards? Shatters, yeah. I was right on the verge of doing that then, I feel. Like, if I looked at closely from when I was building it, that wasn't a bendable joint. Okay, so that's better. It's fed in from below and then kept inside by the sole of the... I'm going to call it a shoe because it's so obviously designed like it's a shoe. Yeah. One little shoe. And that goes into one of these legs. Oh, there is only one leg so far. So, and Q4. This one. Okay, Q4 is there. Then we go on to the left leg. Back to A here. A22. E22 is going on the top. Let me shift my stuff a bit so that you can see it. We're down here. A22 goes on top of the combination of B13 and A20. Yeah, this bit definitely doesn't bend. Looking at the insides of it. It's got a little circle on the side, like this kind of implication of a bend, but it's definitely like at that point in there, it's one piece of plastic. B. B. This one's B. The what is B video from 21 T1 11 1511. So it's me. Is it? I'll have to watch it later, but I wonder. It's gonna be me like slipping up and saying something funny, isn't it? Donna's heading off. See you later. It is actually getting pretty late, but I started late as well, and I'm so close. I want to at least get to the point where I attach like the arms and legs to this. So I will press on with this leg at least. We've got to be pretty close to the end of this model. There's just not that much more that it needs. Yeah. A14. It's the PC4 in it. And also tell when I'm getting close, where things like this start to run out of pieces. Okay, so the A14 had the PC4 facing downwards in it. And an A16. Oh wait, closes up around this. Yeah, super obviously not a joint now. Solid piece of plastic going through from both sides. Could have been very interesting. Snap. Alright, and another foot. Shoe, I should say. That sprue's finished. And this should finish the polycap sprue as well. I think that's what they're called. The PC sprue. Oops. Yeah, that's perfect, right? That's exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay. Sort of squish that into place. And the sole of the shoe. That's interesting. Because if you look here, there's other shoes. I wonder if there's, like, other options for how you build the kit. Because these look like kind of business shoe looking things as opposed to these cute sneaker things. Oh, and there's another belly, which is, like, different. Oh, wait, no, maybe that's the back? Surely not. Surely we've already got the back. I reckon there's, like... Because I know that the Mechatro Wego kits are... Like, they come in many different types, so maybe this sprue, this generic sprue here, could have been used to build a slightly different Mechatro Wego robot. Alright, soles of the shoes. What colour is the sole? Is that brown? There we are. Okay, this one's finished as well. You know you're nearing the end when all of the sprues are wrapping up. Actually, it reminds me, all of these extra pieces, that this other kit here also had extra pieces. Like, it's literally got an extra head there. Oh, it's a different color from that head. And if I could, and that's what looks like a back. With all the pieces from these two kits I haven't used, build like a Frankenstein kit. Danny, you just got here. How's it going? This is a Mechatro Wego by Hasegawa. Hasegawa kits? Mechatro Wego, and this is a cute little robot thing. This kid looks so old. Yeah, actually, it was quite funny when I was like putting together, like having to piece together the joints and stuff like that. And I'm just like, if this was a Bandai Gundam, you'd just get the whole piece, and then you'd pull out of the mold and bend it, and then the joints would just kind of the pieces that would break the pieces supposed to break would break and then come off, and then you'd have a working joint. And this is like, no, I'm like manually piecing together the joint, putting the polycaps in it. Oh no, putting the polycaps in it wrong, and now that's going to be really hard to fix, I think. Let's see if I can pull that out. Oh no, it's not going to be impossible to fix. Oops, nothing came off. That's actually makes it easier to readjust this. All right, that's in place now. Okay. That attaches to the foot. Saying the new gen real grade all have completed arms and legs provided. It's why people don't customize them. So it's like the entire arm or leg mechanism is one piece, and then you just slap armor pieces on top of it now, right? That's nearly. I don't know. I don't know if I want. It feels nearly like that's less fun because you don't get to build the bits. Like you just attach them. I guess it's like, I don't know. It's like that. Like, what is the difference between Lego and a model kit? Right? It's like Lego. You don't have to get into the same kind of fine grained level of detail of having to build stuff. Frame parts, right? Okay, so I now have two legs there. They don't look entirely finished yet, though. But also, like, laughing about how old this kit is that I, earlier on tonight, pulled a bunch of random kits like this one off my shelf. Uh, and all the new kits that I have, which is like the real grade Zaku and the Goku kit that I built, they're all quite new, except the newer ones I've already built. And so I just found some kits that I had lying around, so let's build one of these. And this one felt good because it was like it was something that I could actually finish in one stream, which it looks like I'm going to be able to do that, I think, because we're down to like the final bit here. So, arms and legs installation. We are still attaching one more piece to each of these two legs from B. B. This one. See you, Nicole. Thanks for coming by. C. C. Oh, we have no. For a second there, I thought I had just trapped a cat hair on this, which would be quite funny. Awkward. I have 7 box still sealed with wraps, and you bought 2 more last week. Look, I could laugh at you, but then I would have to look under this desk at the pile of unbuilt Warhammer models under the desk, and then not even look at the pile over there of unbuilt Warhammer that I've bought for some, possible purpose in the future that I literally will never get around to, but I still own them. And it's like, you just can't help it sometimes. You're just like, oh, that's really cool. I want to own that. And then you just never do anything with it. I feel like it's the case with all kind of hobby stuff. Um, you'll look at all of the computer games that you own. You look at, like, for me, it's also like all the Warhammer stuff, not just Warhammer, but other games as well, board games, anything, and everyone's got this huge pile of shame that we talk about. It's like all this stuff that we haven't used, that we had some intention for when we bought it, but we just never really did anything with it. Okay, these are the 2 legs, and the legs are going to go on these ball and socket joints here. Oh, that didn't actually. I got to put a little bit more pressure on that. Oh, there you go. That's in place, and it's nice and flexible. Pull this bit out for a second because it's a bit fragile while I'm putting a bit of effort into those legs. Having said that, this open cockpit piece now kind of makes sense in that you can have it so that it's oh, you can't see it from your angle. See, Olivia? But it can stand with the cockpit at ground level so someone can climb into it. Alright. The arms have their final pieces going on as well. Is the right arm there gets B4. C2. so, and it goes on this joint here. Snapping sound did not fill me with confidence, but I'm pretty sure it was just the arm snapping onto its joint. Okay, B3. C2. And that is it complete. So, looks kind of funny with its belly hanging out like that. But this would be it with the space for someone to climb into it. And this is it after it's closed up with someone inside driving it around. So they're kind of cool as a pair like that. So you can see one of them with, like, I could probably put a person on this to make it really clear. And then this one next to it or something, and have a little. You'd have a little diorama of people getting their little robots ready to go. Oh, I've just broken a piece of it. It's okay. It's not broken. It just fell out of the slot. I reckon if I wanted it in that position, I'd probably have to glue it in. But yeah, there we go. I think I picked the right one because I picked one that was like a small enough kit that I could actually finish it just like in an hour and a half like that. I don't know. Hey, Danny, Pokemon, like, how long is it taking nowadays to build like a real grade kit or something? I assume it would be longer than it would take to build this because you can see how little kit there is here, but it's kind of perfect size for just one stream like this. One afternoon, yeah. Okay, so it is actually potentially possible if I was working pretty quickly on stream or just did a long stream, you could do it. Yeah. One afternoon and then like 3 weeks of agonizing over it and then some painting if you were going to paint it, I guess. Alrighty. If you only do basic sanding like 8 hours, yeah, cool. I always, whenever I build something like this, always think about painting it because I do so much painting in my other stuff. But not sure, you know? It's always like, what do I want to paint it for? Do I want to do anything with it? Oh, right. Round and curved surfaces are going to take longer if you want to sand it. I can understand why people sand it, right? Because you want to take this shine off it. The semi-shine of plastic, I think you can get it to look really, like, much cooler if it's either flat matte finish or it's a metallic finish. Like, you choose what your finish is going to be, but the raw plastic finish is never quite. I don't know. It looks okay, but I think you can make it look much more artistic and stuff if you take that finish off it and then decide what you yourself want to do with the finish. Okay, well, it is close to 11 now. We've been streaming for a while. I might wrap it up there. Thank you for coming along, everyone, and seeing me build one little small model kit. I don't know what I'm going to do next week, but there's lots of options. Could be could do something like a Discord get together. We haven't done one of them in a while. Or I could show you some painting and other things like that. Halogen saying you're specifically interested in Gundam as your first plastic kits for the optional painting. That's cool. And I think especially the SD one that you've got, there's less pressure there because there's just less surface area, so you could get painting on that without too much of a problem. I have to think about what the technique would be for painting it, because like I'm so used to painting miniatures where you'd paint them in a very specific way where you spray prime the whole thing. Often you would even build the whole thing first, then spray prime it, and then paint it. So you wouldn't even depending on, some people will paint in what we call sub assemblies, and I know that a lot of people that paint, when they paint Gunpla, will will actually paint them in very, very separate pieces, lots and lots of tiny pieces, then build it. So there's different levels of what kind of preparation you're going to do with it. Oh, you're saying is that you don't want to paint things? Oh, yeah, right. And I think Gundam can look pretty good without paint. People put what I've heard is like a top coat on it, which, as far as I can tell, top coat is basically a matte varnish over the model so that it doesn't get that plasticky sheen to it, and that can make it look really cool just like that without much else. Let me show you one thing that I have painted at this scale. It's in my cabinet. Oh, chicken cam didn't get used today. So, yeah, this is not gripping where it's supposed to, but this is one thing that I've painted. It is a giant Space Marine. So I did this with my metallic paints, which is a style that I use for my actual miniatures. You can see that the hand isn't gripping the gun that well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this kind of paint chipping, weathering kind of technique here on the fist. What are we saying? Um, I was just saying, you're probably also going to use markers for panel lining, I think. Yeah, buy markers. Yep. Paul Queen is saying, to be honest, Gunpla, you can just get a transparent semi-gloss spray can and monkey the shit out of it. It will still look good before spray. Yeah, yeah. I think that's, especially stuff that's molded in color. So this, let me show you what it started out as. Oh, there's so much dust on this. Started out like this, right? So you can buy it in what they call the artist proof, so completely unpainted. This action figure is kind of a vinyl-y plastic, so it's a softer plastic, less rigid, but it still took my standard acrylic paints quite happily. Yeah, and I was pretty happy with it, because I managed to do some nice kind of like dirty weathering on the boots and stuff like that, while getting a nice slightly weathered metallic finish over the whole model. So yeah, pretty happy with it. It fits my Warhammer army. So my Warhammer army is this particular chapter, the Crimson Fists, painted with exactly this kind of paint scheme that I've got here. Back into the cabinet with you, Space Marine. But I did get a bit tired of painting those Space Marines. I painted like 50 of them with the same paint scheme, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't care if I've bought more of them or got any lying around. I'm so over that now. So at least it's like it's an army I can play games with friends with. I've actually played games with Dan Mansfield with that army, which are fun. Um, but yeah, other than that, I haven't painted much at that size or scale. Most of my stuff is like tiny, tiny little things like this one here, which, as you can see, it is on a motorbike, but it's still like, it's so much smaller than the even the small model kit that we've got here. So it's just really, really tiny details. This one's not finished yet, but it's pretty close to finished, as you can see. All right, all right. pretty late now. Hopefully we've had some fun watching me put together this funny little bear robot thing. It's quite cute, actually. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for coming along. And I'll see you next week. Next week, I don't know what we're doing, but I'll figure something out during the week. Maybe if I'm still crafting, we'll look at another side of it. We'll look at painting rather than building, or maybe some computer gamey stuff, or some Discord hangout or something like that. I haven't decided what it would be, but we'll see. All right, see you all next week, and thank you for coming along. Not actual Gunpla dislike. I guess, yeah, I did actually have an option, but it was like really funny because it's like about old Gunpla. I had this one, and it was like, I can't even remember how I got this. Someone gave it to me or something. I think I won it in a painting competition somewhere, but yeah, I don't even know which series this is from. This was one option for me to build, but I just didn't do it. So I'm not sure. I also don't even know what line of Gundam this is. All right. See you all soon. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks, Halogen, Ocarina, Tawaka, the people here at the end. And I will see you next week. Bye bye.